You are listening to Phone Eats First. Hello everyone, welcome back to Phone Eats First, a podcast about romanticizing your life and finding inspiration inside and outside of the kitchen. My name is Corey May, Corey in the Kitchen. Hi, I'm very happy you're here and listening to my podcast. I can't believe this is my now 11th episode. We're finally into double digits. That's pretty exciting. Today's episode is going to be all about Travel 101 because I travel a lot. If you didn't know that already, I travel mostly for work, but then also for fun, and I tack trips on to my work trips, and I'm basically never home. So it has a lot of pros and cons, but throughout the last few years of traveling a ton, I've learned a lot and have some tips that I want to share with you guys and kind of just some inspirational things that I've learned while I'm traveling, and then that can help you enjoy your travel even more. But of course, we have to start with the weekly report. So reading. Last night I finished The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna, and that is one of the best books I have read in a long time. And you can probably tell because I only had that in my weekly report for I think 2 or 3 episodes instead of like 10, like that first book I was reading. It's a story about a family that moves to Alaska, and they're like homesteaders. I don't know what you would call them, or they move to the homestead. Basically, they learn to live on the land and hunt, and it's just a crazy story about family and relationships and just kind of mental health a little bit. Just fantastic read, and I was sobbing while I finished it. So then my next book is going to be Lessons in Chemistry, which has been out for a while and I've heard is very popular, so should be a nice light read after The Great Alone was heavy. So hopefully this one's also good. Okay, eating. On my trip to San Diego, I had tamaki, which I had never had or heard of or seen, but it is basically a sushi burrito, and it is shaped like an ice cream cone. So you have like the seaweed on the outside and then rice and then your fish. So I got tuna, and it's literally like a little ice cream cone. And so it was hard to eat, I will say, but it was really good. I ended up kind of taking it apart and eating it more of like a poke bowl, but definitely fun. And so it's a Japanese food, but I bought it at a food truck that was owned and ran by Brazilians because my coworker's Brazilian, so they knew the people and they tried it. So apparently they're very popular in Brazil. Fun fact. Okay, plan. Tomorrow morning, bright and early, I will be on my way to Tennessee for work, of course. But I will have some fun in Nashville, which will be a good time. Okay, I have a visitor in my room now. Callie has come to join the podcast. Say hello. Actually, this could be considered my plan. I think Callie has arthritis. If anyone knows anything about why dogs paws, one paw, she like won't walk on it. She's like literally just hobbled in here. Let me know, because my poor angel, we need to figure it out. Okay, obsession. My Christmas tree that's in my room. I bought a $30 fake tree from Target because why not? Actually, I told Chris to get it, so he did. And then I was like, well, I should get it. And it's actually not that bad. I did try and put it in the living room at first, but it just wasn't making the cut. It was a little too thin for the living room, but I have it in the corner of my bedroom with nice little blue decorations. It's a little UNC beach looking tree, matches my room perfectly. And it just makes me so happy. I love Christmas. Okay, recipe. My dinner. I have to share my dinner. It was so good. I had soyaki salmon, which if you don't know already, which you should, because I say the word soyaki probably 3 times a week. Soyaki is a marinade from Trader Joe's, and it's like a teriyaki soy sesame kind of thing. I've made it from scratch before, and it's really easy, but the Trader Joe's soyaki just hits. So you marinate your salmon in that with also just like salt, pepper, garlic, all that. And then I had it with jasmine rice, and then roasted broccoli and okra with the Trader Joe's chili and lime seasoning, and a sweet potato in the air fryer, and avocado topped with sriracha and black sesame seeds. So good. It was so good and light and refreshing, and just gonna set me up for success before my flight tomorrow. Okay, treat. Chris treated us to cookies from Whole Foods, and I had some ice cream in the freezer, so we had a little cookie and ice cream situation. It was so good. A nice little chocolate chip and peanut butter cookie. Don't remember the last time I had like an actual cookie just like that. Okay, that was the weekly report. Now let's get into Kelly yawning. Let's get into today's episode. So we're going to cover first the boring part, packing, but it's probably the most important part and the most stressful part and the hardest part. And then when you get there, the fun stuff. When you land, kind of my tips and tricks and things I recommend and how to maintain your health and wellness while you're on the road. So let's just start. So what do you pack when you're going? So obviously your toiletries, and that's different to every person, but don't forget the basics, your essentials. I will say most Airbnbs have decent shampoo and conditioner. And if they don't, go buy some. It's an easy thing to not put in your suitcase. And if you are trying to save room or something like that, one thing you absolutely have to bring though is body lotion, because I don't know what is up with hotel lotion, but I swear it's fake. Like, it's actually so bad it makes me drier. If you're blind like me, bring your contacts, bring extra contacts, bring contact solution. Otherwise, you're going to be screwed. But yeah, you guys know what you need to survive. So bring your toiletries. And then for clothes, my mandatory packing items are comfy clothes. So sweatpants, slippers, pajamas, and then I always write on my list a clean hoodie, which this applies to work because I have my hoodie that I wear to work, outside. I work outside at soccer tournaments. I'm sweating. It gets dirty. It gets gross. So I need a clean hoodie for when I'm back in the Airbnb or hotel or wherever I am, so that I feel like clean and cozy. And then athletic wear. This is a touchy subject because you don't overdo it. Everyone's going to pack for their 5-day vacation, 5 workout outfits. You're not going to work out 5 days in a row. I'm sorry. I'll be the one to break it to you. So bring like 3. I mean, definitely pack athletic clothes, because then you'll feel maybe more motivated to actually work out. But you're not going to work out every single day. So you can remove some outfits there. And then depending on what's on your itinerary, you're going to want to bring your cute clothes, quote unquote. So cute shoes, but make sure they're good walking shoes. Otherwise, why bring them? If they're not comfortable, don't bring them. You don't need 5 pairs of shoes, I promise. Just bring some good, cute shoes that are versatile for all of your outfits. Another item, essential, is a bathing suit. You never know when there's going to be a hot tub or a body of water or an opportunity to go on a boat. I don't know. Bring a bathing suit. It takes up absolutely no room. And then with that, also flip-flops is something you can bring. Mainly if you're going like near sand or something, but definitely the bathing suit. That's all I have for clothes. You guys know what else to bring. You know what you're doing. But then we have the very essential part, your carry-on. This is how you're going to maximize your packing. So first, pack a tote bag, a little drawstring bag, reusable grocery bag, whatever you want to call it. You're going to put this in your carry-on, which my carry-on is typically a backpack because of work, and I don't know, it's just what I have. But you're going to bring a tote so that when you do get to where you're going, if your roller suitcase and then your backpack are super, super full, you can kind of spread out and maximize your space. And then another thing, if you get lucky and you check your bag and then you only have your backpack, you can then use your tote bag to put like your book, your water bottle in, and then put your backpack overhead, because of the whole like one bag underneath the seat and then one bag in the overhead compartment. So it's kind of finessing the system a little. And then you're going to need a water bottle. Duh. Please bring one that has a screw top lid. Like, don't bring your Stanley cup. Don't bring something with a straw. I don't understand how people fill those with water and then like get on an airplane. Like that, one, that's gross because your straw is just exposed to the elements. And then 2, it's going to spill. So bring a water bottle with a twist lid. I recommend a Hydro Flask or whatever brand, but just that's what I have. Another thing that I always have is protein bars. I like Quest bars. I used to hate them actually, but just, you know, you never know when you're gonna get hungry and be without food. And I get nauseous on airplanes when I'm hungry, so that's kind of where my protein bars come in handy. Something else you're gonna want is headphones, which most of you probably don't even leave the house without them, but if you like to watch movies on airplanes, you're gonna use headphones with the boy end because that's just what it needs. Sorry. But also, you know, AirPods, Beats, whatever you kids use these days. If you listen to music on flights, make sure you have those. Airlines do give out headphones now so you can watch on the screen in front of you. They used to be like $3 a pair, which was so dumb for like the shittiest headphones. Anyway, okay, if you're like me and you don't watch movies on planes, and if you're not sleeping and you need something to do, I read. It's probably one of my favorite places to read, probably because of the silence and no one can bother me or talk to me. And you have constant white noise, so it's like super relaxing. But I always, always, always bring a book when I'm flying. Sometimes I bring two. If I'm going on a long trip, it's like lack of bookophobia. Because if you finish one, like if I have a long flight, I can finish a book. But I've kind of started this new thing where I only bring one book. I mean, unless I'm like almost done with one. Because then if I finish the book, then it gives me an excuse to buy a new one. Because buying books is actually so fun. I also bring my greens when I fly. I use Bloom, and they're supposed to help with digestion and bloating and kind of just like keeping you regular, and it has probiotics and vitamins. So that's the only supplement I take and use. So that's what I bring with me. If you use something else, I definitely recommend bringing them with you to just kind of stay on your routine. We're also going to bring hand lotion and then chapstick / Vaseline, Aquaphor, whatever you use. When flying, you just get super, super dry. If you're from the East Coast, North Carolina specifically, it's humid like all the time. So going anywhere else, you're like cracked and bleeding and you just like need lotion. So definitely bring some with you. And I also always like to have a notebook and a pen with me. I've kind of stopped doing this a little bit just because I'm a big notes app girl. So I don't need the notebook and pen. And I also have my planner from like absolutely necessary need paper. But if you want to get the creative juices flowing, it's a great place to, like, being on a plane. I just feel so creative, and that's where I make a lot of notes and I list and I plan a lot of stuff. I don't know what it is about being like isolated in the air in a metal bird, but I don't know. I just feel creative. So maybe the same happens to you. So I recommend bringing a notebook and a pen. And then last thing on my list is a sweatshirt with a hood. The hood is crucial because that is how you sleep and block out literally everyone, block out the haters, block out the light, and you just go into your little bubble and either watch a movie, listen to your music, listen to your podcast, listen to Phone Eats First, or just sleep. Like I had a flight yesterday. Oh my God, I can't believe that was yesterday. I had a really long flight back from San Diego and I slept the entire flight. I put my hood on, crossed my arms, crossed my legs, and I was out. But a hood is a game changer, I promise. You don't want a crew neck, you want a hood. And then something else that a lot of people use, but I don't think is an essential, is like a neck pillow. I do bring a neck pillow when I have a red eye, but I'm really just not a fan of red eyes. I try to avoid them. So that's kind of my 2 cents there. I mean, they have a purpose for sure. Okay, so now you know kind of like what to pack. Now we go into how to pack and kind of the quick version of this. For clothes, you're going to roll them. If you don't already know this, what are you doing? You don't just fold them and dump them in your suitcase. You have to literally roll them up. And I also use packing cubes, and they really actually do save so much space. And it's so nice to keep your stuff organized. And then also when you get to where you're going and you open your suitcase, your clothes aren't just like all on top of each other and you have to like dig through your piles to get what you need. So I recommend packing cubes for sure. And then I also, an essential is a laundry bag for me, which I just have like, it's literally a Target reusable bag, like a little cloth one. And I've been using it for forever. It's probably actually so smelly and gross. I should probably throw it out. But that way if you're like me and you sweat when you're traveling, like not in the airplane, just like in general when I'm on my trips, and you want to keep your dirty clothes separate from your clean clothes, there you go. But when you leave, you do have to fold the dirty clothes back unless you just have like a ton of excess storage in your suitcase, which I never do. Another tip is you're going to put your socks and clothes in your shoes, depending on the shoes, of course. Like don't put your underwear in your shoes because that's just kind of gross in my opinion, but socks are going to go in the shoes anyways. So you can put your socks in the shoes to save more space. And then you are going to do an air tag in your roller suitcase. They're like, actually I don't know how expensive they are. I think like it's $100 for 4. Could be wrong, could be right. I have no idea. But that way, sometimes you have to gate check your bag if you board kind of last, or I don't know, maybe something happened to you. You just have to check your bag. I recommend having an air tag in there so that you know where it is, because I am terrified of losing my luggage. And then what I kind of mentioned earlier, I bring a roller suitcase, and then I have my backpack that just has a lot of pockets, a lot of space. So that is what I do. That's how I pack. That's what I bring. That was probably really boring. Sorry, but we did it. We're doing it. And I feel like the holidays are a time for a lot of people to travel. So this is kind of why I'm doing this episode now. So I've got some food for thought next. We're going to talk about the airport. And I have a list of things that just stress me out. And I've actually had this list in my phone for a while just because it makes me giggle. We're just going to get into it. So first, long security lines. Even though I have TSA pre-check, anytime I see a long security line, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to miss my flight. Everyone's going to miss their flight. I mean, I don't actually like worry about that. I'm not someone that needs to get to the airport like 5 hours early. I'm like, get me there like 30 minutes early and I'm good. But anytime there's a long security line, I'm not taking it. And then something else that stresses me out, and I actually saw this one time on TikTok that said I broke up with my boyfriend because he struggled to get through TSA and it gave me the ick. I felt that. Anytime I see someone struggling to get through TSA, and this is just like privilege I have right now because I fly all the time, so I like know it all, but I don't know. It's just not cute to not get through TSA easily. Open-toed shoes. If you wear open-toed shoes to the airport, leave. Like, what are you doing? How is that comfortable? Don't your toes get cold? Like, I don't know how you survive. Another thing is, which shout out Chris had this one. He said the line to get coffee because it's always so long. Like, I think you need to have at least like an hour and a half long layover, if not longer, to successfully get coffee. Like yesterday when I was boarding my flight, the woman in front of me, I heard her talking about she literally ordered Starbucks coffee. It had been like 30 minutes by then. Had ordered the coffee and waited and then finally just had to board her flight and she never got a coffee. So that stresses me out. But then what stresses me out even more is when people carry their coffee onto the airplane. Because one, how do you have enough hands to hold your coffee? And then when you get to your seat, like how do you put your bag up ahead? Like, do you hand your coffee to a stranger? You can't just like set it in the seat. What if it falls? So I don't know, do you grow a third arm and just like put your bag up ahead and like hold your coffee? I don't know how people do that. If I like barely get coffee on layovers or before flights for that sole reason. And then this is a personal one, but maybe you relate, maybe you don't. But I always, I go pee before the flight, obviously, but I wait to go until like the very, very last second, like basically until my group is boarding. I don't know why I do this, but every time I'm like, okay, boarding has started, I should go pee now. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, no, I like really, really should go pee now. And then I wait like 5 minutes, and then I could have just like have already gone, but it's like an internal debate that just always happens. And it's like, there's literally a bathroom on the flight, but I pretend like there's not. And maybe it's because I always get the window seat so I can sleep, but I don't know. I just need to go to the bathroom earlier, I guess. And the last thing on my list of things that stress me out is specifically moms or women that fly with an open bag, like one that doesn't have zippers, like basically a large purse or a tote. I'm just like, how do things not fall out of that? Like, because they're always overflowing too. I mean, it's probably like a diaper bag and I'm judging, but I'm not. I'm like, aren't you worried about losing your stuff? So yeah, those are the things that stress me out. Okay, now I've just got some recs for traveling, and not a lot, but number one, TSA pre-check / clear. I don't have clear, but I do have TSA pre-check, and it is a game changer. Not having to take your shoes off or taking your laptop out of your bag, and typically the line's shorter. Honestly, not all the time. Sometimes the normal security line is shorter, but TSA is it's just great. And you just feel like you're better than everyone else when you go to the TSA line versus the regular line. Sorry, it's the truth. Okay, then you're also going to pick an airline and get the credit card if you travel a lot. One thing to be mindful of is if you are going to move or aren't living in like a set area, that could affect the airline that you're loyal to. Because for example, in Raleigh, Delta and Southwest are very, very popular and there's a million flights. But if you live in Charlotte or Dallas, like American is the airline that's probably going to get you where you need to go. In Austin, Southwest, out west, like Alaska or Southwest probably. So just something to be mindful of. But I have the Delta card. I love it. And I actually have 1 million miles now, which airline miles don't get you anywhere unless you have the credit card, which sucks. But I do finally have the card, and I got status now for next year. So my flight tomorrow got upgraded to Comfort Plus. I never thought that would happen to me because I'm like, as much as I fly, everyone's like, oh, you must have the best status and get all the miles and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, and they don't do anything for you unless you have a credit card and spend money. So I do that thing now. I spend money. I have the card. I have status. So that's a nice little present to myself. And then another last rec, which I'm a hypocrite for even saying this and including this, but I just had to include it. Try and pack light. You don't need everything that you have laid out in your bed. Like, put away probably a fourth of it. You can rewear outfits and you can do laundry. And realistically, you're not changing clothes that many times. Like, I promise you don't need, like I was saying, like 5 workout outfits. You don't need 30 pieces of underwear. Like, you're not going to shit yourself 3 times a day. You don't need 5 pairs of shoes. You don't need 4 different pant shirt combinations. Like, you can wear 2 pairs of pants and multiple shirts, because also shirts take up a lot less room. So just things to think of. But I'm definitely an overpacker, so can't relate. Okay, now for the fun part. Once you arrive, depending where you're going, obviously, depending on the vacation, the vibe of the trip, if you're going for work, for fun, whatever it is, these are just some things that can kind of help make your trip more fun and enjoyable and actually feel immersed in where you are. So obviously, food. There are some Yelp haters out there, and I don't know why. I use Yelp all the time. And Yelp is fantastic for finding food, for finding coffee. You get to see pictures, you get to see the menu. There's reviews. It's great. Like, use it. I don't know why people are anti-Yelp. And also download the app, because every time you try and Google and then you click on the one picture, the one link, and then it's like, oh, download the Yelp, you're not going to want to do it. So just get it beforehand. And also I use Apple Maps, and I use Apple Maps a ton for looking for dinner, coffee, just things around me. And it's great. I also recommend Instagram, not as much for food, but more so for like hikes or activities, which, I mean, I don't really know what kind of activity there is other than hiking at the moment, but just use your resources and don't be afraid to just try things, especially if you're going somewhere where there's a certain cuisine or drink or I don't know, treat that the area is known for. Like, try it. Try multiple places that have the same thing. Okay, next on things to do once you arrive, you're going to go shopping. And one, for clothing, like, treat yourself. Sure, get souvenirs, do whatever you want. You're going to go shopping. You're going to go to the grocery store. You're going to go to Target, whatever you need, wherever you like to go. And you're going to get some staple items, whether it's your coffee or bananas, protein bars, your favorite snack, or a quick little meal for right now because you're not hungry enough to go spend a lot of money at a sit-down restaurant, but you need something to keep you going. Get that stuff. If you forgot toiletries, go buy them. It's okay. It's just money. It'll come back. And then you're also going to explore. Walk around, drive around, go watch the sunset. If you see a cute little neighborhood, go drive through it. One of my favorite things that, like, I've done on a trip, I mean, a little thing, but one night Chris and I had a rental car to ourselves, and we drove through the really, really, really expensive, nice neighborhoods in San Diego. And we had such a fun time, like, looking at houses and just then driving up and down the hills. And then we actually found a overlook, I guess you could call it, that was like a little hike, and you could see literally all of San Diego and all of the water from just like this little turn that we took. So definitely explore. You'll find cool stuff, and you'll just kind of get to see what it's like to live in an area. And then last but not least, you're going to treat yourself. It's so hard to not worry about money when you're traveling because you just know everything you're doing is spending money. But you have to think that even when you are home and not traveling, you're still spending money, whether it's $100 on your Sunday grocery haul and then $40 on your Saturday night dinner, and Lord knows how much money on the bar when you go out and have drinks all night multiple times on the weekend. So, and you go get coffee and you buy flowers and you do all the things. You're still spending money, but it just doesn't feel like it because you're at home. But when you're traveling, like, all you can think about is like, oh, credit card, like the amount of time and the amount of transactions you have. But so just think about that. And well, I mean, one, be aware, I guess, but two, just enjoy yourself. Like, get the coffee, get the fancy cocktail, like, just enjoy where you are, because that's what you're going to remember. You're not going to remember not spending money. Okay. And then the last kind of tangent I have here, the last little category, is about just how to maintain your diet, exercise, health, wellness, which, first of all, easy answer, you're not going to. But what you are going to do is you're going to try your best, and you're going to do what feels good. If you are going on a true vacation and you don't want to exercise, don't exercise, because you need to relax. Like, it is your body telling you what you need to do. When I was on my like 2-week long vacation this summer, I don't think I exercised. No, I exercised once. I went on a swim, and like a legit swim. Like, I swam like a couple kilometers. Like, it was awesome, and I was exhausted after. But I didn't exercise aside from just walking around whenever we did that. I was horizontal, and I was reading, and I was just laying in the sun, taking naps, going in the ocean, because that is what I needed. That is what I wanted to do. And that is how I wanted to remember that trip, just a relaxing trip. There are some other trips that go on, like work trips, sometimes to the beach. I am just like feeling super like health motivated, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym in my hotel. I'm going to not drink this trip. Just stuff like that. And that's also good. That's also okay. And yeah, you do, like, that does sound like the better version of maintaining your health and wellness, but sometimes rest is just what you need. So that kind of just takes me to my next point. You're just going to enjoy your vacation. You're probably also going to walk a lot. Like, anytime I go to San Francisco, I think I walk like 8 miles a day, because me and Emily just want to go see everything. And like, you walk everywhere. We take the bus rarely, but when we Uber at night and stuff, but just throughout the day, like, it's like, oh, let's go walk here, and then let's go walk here. It's just the kind of city it is. And walking is such great exercise. So that's okay. Another way to stay on top of maintaining your health and overall wellness and still feeling kind of good, number one, you're going to hydrate. And then you're going to hydrate more and hydrate again and then hydrate again. This is why you have to bring a water bottle with you everywhere. But something else when you're flying is you need to replenish your electrolytes, because for some reason you get super dehydrated for flying. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a myth and it's just because people don't drink as much water when you're traveling because you're busy and you don't want to have to pee all the time. But I just know that you do need to hydrate. And then also, like I mentioned earlier, you're going to bring your supplements. Whatever you need from your morning routine, your daily routine that keeps your body on track and in check, do it. Especially if you take probiotics at home, please bring those. Otherwise, you're going to be constipated and not enjoy your time. So just do what you need to function. And then also do your normal morning routine when you travel. Like, I still wake up around an hour early, or I mean, I try to. Sometimes I don't, but I bring my ice roller when I travel. I bring my greens when I travel, and I do that in the morning. If I can like sit and stretch or like go for a walk, I would love to, but typically we have to leave the house for work in the 5 a.m. era. So I don't really get movement in, but I still need that time to like do my skincare, do the things, because that sets your day up for success. And then also like take a walk around the neighborhood wherever, I mean, if you're in a safe area, just like I said, keep your body moving, do the things you know that make you feel good. You're also going to eat food that you know will make you feel good. Like, I don't eat a lot of red meat at home, so why would I eat a lot of red meat out when I know it's probably going to hurt my stomach, probably going to give me bathroom issues? Like, just don't do it. And then with the drinking, if you're on vacation, you're probably going to drink. That's okay. Do it. Enjoy it. Go crazy. But also, remember, you want to enjoy your next day probably. So bring liquid IV, drink a lot of water, have food. Like, if you're in a hotel and you know you like to drunk eat, like, have a snack, order Uber Eats, like, do what you need to do to keep yourself going. But really, just at the end of the day, for your diet and exercise and everything, just do your best. And guess what? You're going to come home and you're going to get back into the swing of things. Maybe you won't. It might take you a little bit of time, but what's most important is you're not going to be hard on yourself. And when you get home, you're going to do your best to get back into the swing of things. And even if it takes a couple days, that's okay. You still are eventually going to get back into the swing of things. You just can't be hard on yourself. You have to have grace, and you have to know that you enjoyed your trip, you enjoyed your vacation, even if it's a work trip. And which it is important to, like, if you travel as much as I do, you can't treat everything like a vacation. Or, I mean, you can do what you want, but it's really important to just be patient with yourself and just know that traveling is, I mean, it's hard. Like, it's a lot and it takes time to reset. So just having that routine of knowing what you need to bring, what you're going to do, what's going to set you up for success will really just set you up for success, honestly. Oh, and then when you get home, don't wait 5 days to unpack, because that's just lazy. And then you're just not, you're going to be like, oh, have to unpack. And then you're just going to feel bad and about yourself. So I look, you do it right away, or within like 24 hours at least, because I just throw everything in the wash and then put it all away and then do it all again. But yeah, that is all I have for my Travel 101. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and let me know where you're traveling next. And if you like any of these tips or tricks or have your own, please share. And if you guys could please give Phone Eats First a rating and a review, that would be absolutely wonderful. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and talk soon. You are listening to Phone Eats First.